Hey, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to buying a franchise and being successful as an entrepreneur. So stick around.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people will never talk about. My career coaches here at Franchise Building Expert will talk about this. We're not afraid to get serious and deep and emotional with you. And that is what's going to hold you back from starting on your entrepreneurial journey. So maybe you've been looking at franchises before. Maybe you're already engaged in conversation, but most of the franchisors, a lot of other franchise consultants in this industry will probably not ask you things that may make you decide not to do this. And some of you shouldn't do this. I just want to be very, very clear. Owning your own business is not for everyone. Here at Franchise Building Expert, we have processes, we have resources, we have technology that's going to help us make that determination with you, or help you make the determination. But we're going to be by your side. We're going to help you. So we're not just about finding a business for you and we think it's the right thing for you. We do that. But the first, one of the early on things is, do you really have what it takes? And I think one of the core questions is, what's going to hold you back from either making this decision or what's going to hold you back from being successful if you indeed did make this decision. So what I want to talk about is three key things that hold people back, typically from making the decision. But even if they make the decision, some of these things will hold you back from being as successful as you could be. So first thing I want to talk about simply is fear. Fear, that fear, what is it called? Fight or flight. And so in today, with the kinds of things that we get fearful about today, we're not talking about you in any kind of physical harm. Okay. But the reality is that it's still a built-in human mechanism that's important to recognize, and it's important to respect it. If you're looking at something like this, changing a career, maybe ending a job or stopping a job and not having an income, having a plan for a ramp up of a business, not being able to count on the business for, maybe 6 months or 9 months for any kind of cash flow into the house. All of these things should give you some level or degree of anxiety. If you work with someone, we're certainly going to help you reduce that stress, because we're going to educate you. We're going to leverage our experience in order to find the right type of business for you, and the right specific company and the right culture. But just know that fear is natural. I tell people all the time, it's natural, and I'll joke with people, boy, if you're not going to get a little bit concerned, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of worry, then I'm going to worry, because I'm going to feel like your eyes aren't really opened to what you're thinking of doing. So fear's okay. Fear's a safety valve. But I will tell you very, very honestly, one of the most disappointing parts of what our company does is when fear is the only thing holding somebody back from who should do this, holding them back from stepping onto that on ramp through franchising and starting their entrepreneurial journey. So fear is the first thing I want to talk to you about. Second one I want to talk to you about is having support to do this. Now, franchising has great statistics on how successful franchises are versus equivalent type businesses that are standalone, independent, started on their own. And the statistics are dramatically different. You much higher probability of overall success in a franchised model than doing it on your own. So not picking on anybody that's so entrepreneurial that they started a business of their own, but I'm just saying it's a less risk, higher probability of success if you go the franchise route. But the second thing that will kill all businesses, high probability of killing even a franchise business, is going to be lack of support. And what I mean, and primarily has to be if you're married or you have a significant other. I'm going to tell you that it's your spouse, it's your significant other that is the key support person. If you don't, then maybe it's a circle of friends or maybe it's a best friend. But the bottom line is, franchise business or not, the industry, the business, the marketplace, customers, they're going to gut punch you once in a while. They're gonna chop your legs out from under you once in a while. And if you go home and also get kicked to the curb at home, then that is just a formula for disaster, and not just poor performance or a slow operating business. That is formula for disaster and failure. So I'm going to tell you that you need to be sure you have the right support. And if you have a spouse, it can't be your best friend. That's your only support mechanism. It's got to be in your household. You've got to recognize as you're looking at starting your own business, who other than me is impacted by this career change. And again, here at Franchise Building Expert, we do this. We bring your spouses into the process. We bring your significant other into the process. These are people that know you the best, and they're also impacted by this. And out of respect for them, we want to bring them in, and you should be bringing them into your process as well. But I can tell you, two things can happen if you don't do this and you move forward. You have dramatically negatively impacted your probability of success. The other thing is, if you don't bring them into the process and you want to do this, and then you bring them into the process too late, then what happens is you've got excitement and interest and knowledge about what you want to do. You just have this massive mismatch from what your spouse knows and feels and thinks they want versus where you are. And again, that is one of our most disappointing times in our, at least I've learned that, and that's why we don't do it anymore. But that can be so disappointing to you, the candidate, the person thinking of doing this, when you suddenly recognize you're not able to bring your spouse on board. You waited too long to bring them into the process, and they just kill the deal for you. They kill your dreams of business ownership and a major career change. So fear, natural, but don't let it kill your dreams. Don't let it knock you out of the race and the interest. Your spouse, bring them in early, let them contribute. They're impacted by this decision one way or the other. Bring them in. And then the third one is just overall indecision. I've seen a lot of people, and again, I can recognize it, and I talk, here at Franchise Building Expert, we talk about this a lot with our clients about the fact that we're here to help you, but we're also going to help you make a timely, informed, educated decision. And so we'll help you map out the process. We'll help you along the way. We'll guide you through everything. We'll be right there with you, but we are not going to let you kind of bob and weave. Again, I had to learn this the hard way, where people, I'd see one and two and then three moves sideways, or come up with excuses or things that happen. The best one I can share with you is when a guy told me, he couldn't finish the next step or the last step or his final decision because his toilet overflowed in his basement, and he was spending a few days cleaning up. I mean, come on, I will tell you, if you're serious about this and you work with a professional to help you through the process, all of those things are just bobbing and weaving. They're just things that really aren't going to help you make a decision. What they're going to do, honestly, is they're going to bring more stress down on your shoulders. I encourage you to, work with a professional, educate yourself, read books, take classes, take courses, get good at understanding what it's going to take to buy a franchise, how to do that. But again, I encourage you to be decisive, working with professionals who can help you through the process to when you do have enough information to really make a decision. I think it was Colin Powell in a book he wrote years ago, and it was all about going to war, being prepared to go to war, go to battle, but also they were examples that we can apply in business and in life. He said you'd never want to go into it with probably less than 60% of the information, but you never want to wait past 80%. You never want to try to get to 100% of the information, or you will have lost the opportunity. You've missed your window of opportunity. So I'm going to encourage you to be decisive. You don't have to rush it, but be decisive. When you start to feel yourself drifting, is the phrase I often use. Recognize it, write yourself, because all you're doing in this is adding additional stress to your life. And honestly, you're also, if you decide to move forward, which in a lot of cases, that's what you should do, but you're just holding back from making that decision. What you're also doing is delaying how quickly you can actually start your new career, which you're going to be wildly, wildly excited about. So what's going to hold you back from making the decision? Some of these are going to hold you back from being successful should you make a positive decision to start a franchise or start a business. They're going to be fear, lack of support, and indecisiveness.